Hi, and welcome to Super Wellness. I'm Dr. Rosemary.
And I'm Dr. Bob.
Our goal today is to open the door to your life's greatest potentials. And in order to do that, we invite you into a new world, a developing world, the world of Suprawellness. The prefix supra means above and beyond, so Super Wellness is above and beyond wellness.
So let's begin with a look at the historical evolution of some of the terminology involved around what was the standard. So let's go back in the beginning around the 70s, in the early 70s, when we started to depart from the usual terminology of medicine being the standard, and we started to give way to something called preventative medicine, and then ultimately preventative health care. Now you'll notice that we started to squeeze the word health in, but the prevailing word was still preventative, which meant that we were somehow involved in being against something, trying to avoid something. The connotation was there that it was still about preventative and that the care was still based in sickness and illness. Nonetheless, a change was made and a movement away from the old standard of sick care was underway. So the move was on.
Let's flash forward to the late 80s and early 90s where a major shift took place. That was the birth of the wellness revolution. The wellness revolution was a clear demarcation away from sick care, and the focus was now on true health and well-being. And it was destined to become a $1 trillion industry by 2010, some 20 years later. So now here we are at the refining stage, the expansion phase of Super Wellness, above and beyond, allowing for growth and integration for all those ready, willing, and able. Welcome aboard.
The first step is to acknowledge that we need to live life more knowingly. That is to be mindful of what we think, say, and do physically, mentally, and emotionally. To be alert and to be more present, to be more conscious, to be more tuned in. Now that may seem like a pretty big chunk to take on for the rest of your life, but today is the first day of the rest of your life. Actually, that's a great place to start, but let's bring it down to something that's more manageable. Not day by day, hour by hour, or even minute by minute, but let's do it moment by moment, living in the present moment. That puts us in present time consciousness, and when we're in present time consciousness, that puts us in touch with all the potentials for future change. We are surrounded by, and we should definitely take advantage of, the resources that are accessible for us in the form of the online networks, books, seminars, and workshops.
So, in order to be living in Super Wellness above and beyond, it'll be like going to school, but it'll be 24/7. But you get to pick teachers, the subject, even you get to grade your own exams. And those exams will be consistent and come often, and that's because it's called life. So, you will be living life more knowingly, more aware, you'll be making more appropriate choices and take more appropriate action. And that's what Super Wellness is.
And remember, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So let's get started. One of the first obvious gifts that Super Wellness brings is the opportunity to be younger on our next birthday. While we acknowledge that our chronological age is more or less etched in stone, that is to say that we're born on a certain date, and then we tend to count forward or backward, depending on what we choose. And it seems that as children and adolescents, it was always important to be counting forward, looking forward to getting older. But then at some point in our lives, it wasn't so important to be getting older, it was more important to be counting back, looking back. So that's what we've done. With Super Wellness, we find ourselves capable of being more comfortable and relaxed with our chronological age, because we know that from the energy and awareness that we find in Super Wellness, we can actually alter our biological age. And that's the key here. we can actually halt or reverse the aging process.